Imagine a garden where apples grow, but not just any apples. These apples are said to grant immortality. And to get them, you must face a fearsome dragon and outwit a titan. In the heart of a distant land, hidden from mortal eyes, lay an orchard of golden apples. These were no ordinary fruits, but gifts from the goddess Hera to her husband, Zeus, said to grant eternal life. But guarding this treasure was a fearsome dragon named Ladon, and 3 nymphs known as the Hesperides. Hercules, the famed hero, was tasked with a seemingly impossible feat, to steal these golden apples. The journey would be arduous, the dragon formidable, and the nymphs cunning. Yet, Hercules, ever the brave and resourceful warrior, accepted the challenge. With unwavering determination, Hercules set off on his quest. He traveled through treacherous terrains, crossed raging rivers, and faced countless dangers. Along the way, he sought guidance from wise oracles and mythical creatures, their words fueling his resolve. The Hesperides were not mere mortals, but nymphs, ethereal beings of exquisite beauty who lived in harmony with nature. Daughters of Hesperus, the evening star, and Oceanus, the Titan god of the sea, they were named Egil, Erythea, and Hesperides, each as radiant as the golden apples they guarded. Their days were filled with the gentle rustling of leaves, the sweet melodies of birdsong, and the rhythmic dance of the ocean waves. They tended to the orchard with loving care, ensuring that the golden apples ripened to perfection under the warm glow of the sun. Yet, their duty as guardians of the orchard was sacred and unwavering. They knew that the apples were a symbol of immortality, a prize coveted by gods and mortals alike. They were vigilant in their watch, their eyes ever alert for any sign of danger. Their songs, once filled with joy and merriment, now carried a note of caution, a reminder of the precious treasure they protected. The golden apples were not merely fruits, but symbols of immortality. They were a gift from Hera, the queen of the gods, to her husband Zeus, a token of their love and a testament to their eternal union. These apples were said to possess a unique power, capable of granting eternal life to whoever consumed them. They were a prize coveted by gods and mortals alike, a symbol of both wealth and power. The Hesperides, tasked with guarding this precious treasure, were well aware of its significance and guarded it with unwavering vigilance. The apples were said to have been plucked from the gardens of the Hesperides, 3 nymphs who lived at the western edge of the world. The nymphs were known for their beauty and their love of nature, and they tended to the orchard with great care. The apples were said to have been golden in color, with a sweet and tangy taste. According to legend, the apples were a gift from Gaia, the earth goddess, to Hera on the day of her marriage to Zeus. The apples were said to have been a symbol of fertility and abundance, and they were believed to have the power to heal the sick and rejuvenate the old. The golden apples were a source of great pride for Hera, and she often boasted of them to the other gods. However, the apples were also a source of jealousy among the other goddesses, who longed to possess such a powerful and beautiful gift. The orchard of golden apples was not easily found. It was nestled deep within a secluded valley, surrounded by towering mountains and dense forests. The path to the orchard was treacherous, winding through narrow gorges and over treacherous cliffs. Hidden behind a veil of mist and shrouded in the deep shade of ancient trees, the orchard was a place of mystery and enchantment. The location of the orchard was a well-kept secret, known only to the Hesperides and a few select deities. It was a place of solitude and peace, far removed from the bustling cities and the intrigues of the gods. The nymphs found solace in this hidden paradise, their days filled with the beauty and tranquility of nature. The orchard was a sanctuary, a place where they could escape the chaos and turmoil of the world. The seclusion of the orchard was not only a blessing but also a curse. It made it difficult for Hercules and others to reach it, but it also protected the golden apples from the greedy hands of those who would seek to steal them. The nymphs knew that their isolation was essential to the preservation of the orchard and the precious treasure it held. Ladon was a creature of legend, a dragon of immense size and power. His scales were as hard as iron, shimmering in hues of emerald and gold. His eyes, the size of saucers, glowed with a fiery intensity, and his breath was a scorching blast of flame. His body was serpentine, coiling and writhing with a strength that could crush boulders. His tail, tipped with a barbed stinger, could strike with deadly force. And his claws, sharp as razors, could rend even the toughest armor. Ladin was not merely a physical threat, but also a creature of cunning and intelligence. He was a master of deception, able to blend seamlessly into his surroundings and ambush unsuspecting prey. He was a guardian of unparalleled vigilance, his senses always alert for any sign of danger. Beyond his physical prowess, Ladin was a creature of myth and legend, his image etched into the very fabric of the world. He was a symbol of fear and awe, a creature that inspired both terror and reverence. His presence in the orchard was a testament to the preciousness of the golden apples, a reminder that such a treasure required a guardian of extraordinary power. Ladin was more than just a guard. He was a living legend, a testament to the ancient forces that shaped the world. His presence was a constant reminder of the dangers that lurked in the orchard, a warning to those who would dare to challenge the gods. Ladin's vigilance was a constant threat, a shadow that hung over the orchard. His eyes never closed, his senses always alert. He patrolled the perimeter of the orchard with relentless determination, his presence a chilling reminder of the dangers that lurked within. Hercules knew that he could not simply sneak past Ladin. The dragon's senses were too keen, his vigilance too unwavering. He would have to find a way to distract the dragon, to lure him away from his post. It was a daunting task, but Hercules was determined to succeed. The thought of facing Ladin filled Hercules with dread. He knew that a single misstep could prove fatal. The dragon's power was immense, his fury a force of nature. Yet, Hercules was a hero, a man of courage and determination. He would not be deterred by fear. Ladin's vigilance was a constant test of Hercules' resolve. It was a reminder that the golden apples were not merely a prize to be won, but a challenge to be overcome. It was a test of his courage, his cunning, and his unwavering spirit. The dragon's presence was a constant source of tension. It forced Hercules to be ever vigilant, to be prepared for anything. It was a reminder that even the greatest heroes must be ever alert, that complacency can lead to disaster. Ladin's vigilance was a crucible, a trial that would test Hercules' mettle. It was a test of his ability to overcome fear, to face the unknown, and to persevere in the face of adversity. And it was a test that Hercules was determined to pass. Hercules, ever the adventurer, set off on his quest with a heart full of determination. He bid farewell to his beloved family and friends, promising to return victorious. His journey would be long and arduous, filled with dangers and obstacles. He traveled through treacherous terrains, scaling towering mountains and crossing raging rivers. He faced ferocious beasts, battled mythical creatures, and endured the harsh elements. The path to the Hesperides was a test of his endurance, a trial of his physical and mental strength. Along the way, Hercules encountered a variety of challenges. He was ambushed by bandits, lost in dense forests, and faced the wrath of angry gods. But he never wavered in his resolve. He pushed himself to his limits, drawing on his strength and courage to overcome every obstacle. Hercules' journey was not just a physical challenge, but also a spiritual one. He learned to rely on himself, to trust his instincts, and to find strength in adversity. He discovered the true meaning of courage, the power of perseverance, and the importance of never giving up. The journey was a test of his character, a trial that would shape him into the legendary hero he would become. It was a journey of self-discovery, a quest to find his place in the world. And it was a journey that would lead him to the orchard of golden apples, a treasure that would test his mettle and define his legacy. Hercules, ever the wise and resourceful hero, knew that the journey to the Hesperides would be fraught with danger. He sought guidance from the gods, hoping that their wisdom and experience could help him on his quest. He first consulted with the wise and prophetic oracle of Delphi, who spoke in riddles and cryptic messages. The oracle's words were a puzzle, but Hercules was determined to decipher their meaning. With the help of his friend, the centaur Chiron, he was able to unravel the oracle's prophecy and gain valuable insights into his journey. He also sought advice from the god Hermes, the messenger of the gods. Hermes, known for his cunning and intelligence, offered Hercules valuable tips on how to navigate the treacherous terrain and avoid the dangers that lay ahead. Hercules also consulted with the goddess Athena, the goddess of wisdom and warfare. Athena, impressed by Hercules' courage and determination, offered him her protection and guidance. She taught him valuable battle strategies and provided him with enchanted weapons to aid him on his quest. With the help of these wise and powerful deities, Hercules gained the knowledge and skills he needed to succeed. Their guidance was invaluable, a beacon of hope in the darkness of his journey. As Hercules approached the orchard, he encountered a colossal figure, Atlas, the Titan who had once held up the heavens. Atlas, now condemned to hold up the sky for eternity, offered Hercules a deal. If Hercules would take over his task for a moment, Atlas would retrieve the golden apples from the Hesperides. Hercules, though weary from his journey, agreed to the deal. After all, he had come a long way, and he was determined to claim the golden apples. With a deep breath, he took the weight of the sky upon his shoulders. The weight was immense, crushing his bones and straining his muscles. He felt the world pressing down upon him, a burden that seemed impossible to bear. But Hercules was a hero, and he persevered. He gritted his teeth, dug deep within himself, and held the sky aloft. Atlas, seeing Hercules' determination, retrieved the golden apples from the Hesperides and returned to Hercules. As he handed the apples to the hero, he said, "These apples are yours, but I fear I may never be free." Hercules, touched by Atlas' plight, decided to help the Titan. He devised a plan to trick Atlas into taking back the sky, freeing him from his eternal burden. With a cunning trick, Hercules convinced Atlas to hold the sky for just a moment longer, while he adjusted a cushion. As Atlas took back the sky, Hercules slipped away, leaving the Titan trapped once more. Though Hercules had freed Atlas, the Titan's words lingered in his mind. The image of Atlas, forever burdened by the weight of the heavens, would serve as a constant reminder of the sacrifices that must sometimes be made. As Ladon returned, his fury undimmed, Hercules tossed a handful of golden apples into the air. The apples, shimmering in the sunlight, caught the dragon's attention. His eyes, ablaze with greed, focused on the tempting fruits, his powerful jaws snapping shut in anticipation. Hercules, taking advantage of Ladon's distraction, continued to gather the remaining apples. He worked swiftly and efficiently, his movements precise and deliberate. The weight of the apples grew heavier in his hands, but he refused to yield. Ladon, his patience wearing thin, lunged at Hercules, his tail lashing out with a force that could have felled an oak tree. Hercules, agile and nimble, dodged the attack, leaping to one side just in time. The dragon, frustrated and enraged, continued to pursue Hercules. He roared and snapped, his breath a scorching blast of flame. Hercules, his heart pounding in his chest, continued to run, his legs burning with exhaustion. Finally, with the bag filled to bursting, Hercules reached the edge of the orchard. He took one last glance at the golden apples, a bittersweet farewell to the treasure he had risked his life to obtain. With a final burst of speed, he leaped over the orchard's wall and disappeared into the forest. Ladon, defeated and enraged, roared in frustration. He paced back and forth, his tail lashing against the ground. He had failed to protect his precious charge, and he knew that he would be punished for his failure. As Hercules fled into the forest, he looked back at the orchard. The golden apples, shimmering in the sunlight, seemed to beckon to him. He knew that he had accomplished a feat that few would dare to attempt, a testament to his courage and determination. But he also knew that his journey was far from over. There were still more labors to be completed, more challenges to be faced. And he was ready for whatever lay ahead. With Ladon's attention diverted, Hercules moved swiftly and decisively. He gathered the apples, stuffing them into a leather sack that he had prepared earlier. The weight of the apples was considerable, but Hercules pressed on, his determination unwavering. As he filled the sack, he glanced at Ladon, his heart pounding in his chest. The dragon was still distracted, his eyes fixed on the golden apples that floated in the air. Hercules knew that this was his moment, his chance to escape. With a final surge of strength, Hercules hoisted the bag over his shoulder and turned to run. He darted between the trees, his feet barely touching the ground. Ladon, realizing what Hercules was doing, let out a roar that echoed through the forest. He lunged forward, his powerful jaws snapping shut just inches from Hercules' heels. But Hercules was too quick. He dodged the attack, leaping to one side just in time. He continued to run, his legs burning with exhaustion. He could hear Ladon's footsteps behind him, growing closer with each passing moment. Finally, with the orchard behind him, Hercules reached the edge of the forest. He paused for a moment to catch his breath, his heart pounding in his chest. He looked back at the orchard, a bittersweet farewell to the place where he had risked his life. With a final burst of speed, Hercules disappeared into the forest, leaving Ladon behind. He had stolen the golden apples, a feat that few would dare to attempt. It was a moment of triumph, a victory that would be remembered for generations to come. The golden apples, though a prize of immense value, were also a heavy burden. They were filled with a magical energy that made them seem heavier than they should have been. Hercules, strong as he was, found himself struggling under their weight. The apples pulled at him, tugging at his shoulders and straining his muscles. He felt as though he were carrying the weight of the world. The journey that had once seemed so arduous now felt even more difficult, the weight of the apples a constant reminder of the challenges he faced. Hercules had to adjust his pace, his movements slower and more deliberate. He had to be careful not to strain himself, not to let the weight of the apples overwhelm him. He had to find a way to balance the burden, to distribute the weight evenly across his body. The apples were a constant reminder of the dangers he had faced, the sacrifices he had made. They were a symbol of his victory, but also a reminder of the challenges that lay ahead. He knew that he had to persevere, that he had to carry the burden to the end. The weight of the apples was a test of his strength, both physical and mental. It was a reminder that even the greatest heroes must sometimes struggle, that even the most precious rewards come at a cost. But Hercules was determined to carry the burden, to see his quest through to the end. As Hercules carried the apples, he couldn't help but think about the journey he had taken. He had faced countless dangers, overcome countless obstacles. He had fought against fear, doubt, and despair. And now, as he carried the golden apples, he felt a sense of accomplishment, a pride in what he had achieved. The apples were more than just a prize. They were a symbol of his journey, a testament to his courage and determination. They were a reminder that even the most impossible tasks can be achieved with perseverance and faith. As Hercules continued his journey, the weight of the apples seemed to grow heavier. He felt his strength waning, his body aching. But he pushed on, driven by a force he could not explain. He knew that he had to reach Eurystheus, to present him with the golden apples. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, Hercules arrived at the palace of Eurystheus. He stood before the king, his body weary, his face etched with the lines of fatigue. But in his eyes there was a flicker of triumph, a sense of accomplishment that no king could take away. As Hercules continued his journey, he faced a series of new challenges. The terrain became even more treacherous, the mountains steeper, and the forests denser. He encountered wild animals, treacherous rivers, and hidden dangers that threatened his life. The weight of the golden apples, already a heavy burden, seemed to grow even heavier. Hercules' muscles ached, his strength waning. He had to rest frequently, to conserve his energy for the journey ahead. He also had to be constantly on guard. The news of his success had spread, and there were those who sought to steal the golden apples from him. Bandits, monsters, and even rival heroes sought to claim the prize for themselves. Hercules had to fight off attacks, outwit his enemies, and use all his cunning and skill to survive. He faced danger at every turn, his life hanging by a thread. Despite the challenges, Hercules persevered. He pushed himself to his limits, drawing on his strength and courage to overcome every obstacle. He refused to give up, to let the dangers of the journey defeat him. As he drew closer to home, Hercules felt a surge of relief. The end was in sight, and he was determined to see his quest through to the end. He had faced countless dangers, overcome countless obstacles. He had proven himself to be a hero, a man of courage and determination. And now, as he stood at the gates of Eurystheus' palace, he knew that his journey had been worth it. The golden apples were a symbol of his victory, a testament to his strength and perseverance. And as he presented the apples to the king, he knew that he had earned his place among the legends of Greece. After a long and arduous journey, Hercules finally arrived at the gates of Eurystheus' palace. The king, upon hearing of Hercules' return, was both surprised and apprehensive. He had expected the hero to fail, to fall victim to the dangers of the Hesperides. As Hercules approached the palace, the citizens of Mycenae gathered to greet him. They cheered and applauded, their voices a chorus of admiration and respect. Hercules, humbled by their affection, smiled and waved. Eurystheus, reluctantly, met Hercules at the palace gates. He looked at the hero with a mixture of fear and admiration. Hercules, his body weary but his spirit unbroken, presented the golden apples to the king. Eurystheus, unable to deny Hercules' success, reluctantly accepted the apples. He knew that he had been defeated, that the hero had proven himself beyond doubt. But he also knew that he could not afford to anger Hercules, a man of immense power and influence. With a heavy heart, Eurystheus declared Hercules' 11th labor complete. The hero had triumphed, and his reputation as a legendary figure was cemented. The citizens of Mycenae rejoiced, their celebration a testament to Hercules' courage and determination. Hercules, having completed his 11th labor, knew that his journey was not over. There was still one more task to complete, one final challenge that would test his mettle. But for now, he could bask in the glory of his victory, the satisfaction of a job well done. Eurystheus, the king of Mycenae, had assigned Hercules the seemingly impossible task of stealing the golden apples of the Hesperides. He had expected the hero to fail, to succumb to the dangers of the orchard and the might of the dragon-laden. When Hercules returned, victorious and triumphant, Eurystheus was filled with a mix of fear and admiration. He had underestimated the hero's strength, his courage, and his determination. The golden apples, a symbol of immortality, were a testament to Hercules' extraordinary abilities. Eurystheus, however, was a cunning and manipulative man. He knew that he could not openly praise Hercules, for to do so would be to admit his own defeat. Instead, he adopted a facade of indifference, pretending to be unimpressed by the hero's accomplishment. He reluctantly accepted the golden apples, his expression one of forced nonchalance. He congratulated Hercules, but his words were laced with sarcasm and contempt. He tried to downplay the hero's achievement, suggesting that it was merely a stroke of luck rather than a testament to his skill. Eurystheus' reaction was a reflection of his own insecurities and jealousy. He was envious of Hercules' fame and admiration, and he sought to undermine the hero's reputation. But despite his efforts, Eurystheus could not deny the truth. Hercules had triumphed, and his name would be remembered for generations to come. After completing the 11th labor, Hercules' growing reputation as a hero reached new heights. The successful theft of the golden apples from the Hesperides not only demonstrated his immense strength and courage but also showcased his cunning and resourcefulness in overcoming seemingly insurmountable challenges. Throughout his labors, Hercules had faced formidable opponents and completed tasks that no ordinary mortal could achieve. Each labor added to his legend, portraying him as a hero favored by the gods and destined for greatness. The retrieval of the golden apples, guarded by the fierce dragon-laden and protected in a remote and mystical orchard, further solidified Hercules' status as a figure of awe and admiration. News of Hercules' triumph spread far and wide, echoing across the realms of both mortals and gods. His feats were celebrated not only for their physical prowess but also for their symbolic significance. Each labor was not just a test of strength but a testament to his resilience, determination, and unwavering commitment to atone for his past misdeeds. As tales of his exploits traveled, Hercules became a beacon of hope and inspiration. People looked to him not only as a protector against supernatural threats, but also as a symbol of overcoming personal trials and achieving redemption. His reputation as a hero grew not just for his deeds but for the values he embodied: valor, sacrifice, and the relentless pursuit of justice. As Hercules stood before Eurystheus, the weight of the golden apples in his hands symbolized more than just a completed task. It marked a turning point in his journey, solidifying his status as a legendary hero whose name would resonate through the ages. But for Hercules, the road ahead remained daunting. One more labor lay ahead of him, one final trial that would test his strength and resolve. The challenges he had faced thus far were but prelude to what awaited him next. As he left the palace, the cheers of the people of Mycenae echoed in his ears. The story of his triumph would spread far and wide, inspiring awe and admiration. Yet, amidst the celebration, Hercules knew that greater challenges awaited him. His next labor loomed on the horizon, promising new dangers and quests that would further shape his destiny. With the golden apples secured, Hercules looked to the future with determination. His journey was far from over, and the tales of his adventures would continue to unfold, each labor a testament to his courage and indomitable spirit. Thank you for watching. Please comment below what you would like to see next.